This is Finland, a Nordic country with a rich history, an approximately 1,340-kilometer-long border with the Russian Federation, one of the primary adversaries of Finland at the time of this publication. As such, Finland has a small but highly capable spy agency to protect its national interests. Its name is Suojelupoliisi, or SUPO for short, and it's internationally known as the Finnish Security and Intelligence Service. With its history going back all the way to 1948, in this episode we'll have a look at SUPO's former, future, and temporary headquarters located in the capital of Finland, Helsinki. Welcome to Spy Spots. July of 1948 marked the end of the Communist Party for Finland, starting a new era for Finland, and part of that was the act and the decree on the security police, which dismantled the existing intelligence agency and established SUPO. It was this building at the center of Helsinki which remained the home of SUPO until 2023. This building was constructed in 1896, and for approximately a year, until 1897, it was a residential building, although almost all of its occupants were government officials, resulting in many espionage cases, as you can imagine. Russian Empire bought this building in the early 20th century as part of what is commonly referred to the Russification of Finland, a foreign policy of the Russian Empire to terminate Finland's political autonomy and reduce its cultural uniqueness. Under the Russian control, the building continued to be used as a residence for military and government officials. In 1919, Finland's spy agency was reconstructed to the Central Detective Police, EK, and after 2 years, that is until 1921, was operating from the building at the Boulevard and Albertin Catu Street. Then EK officially became the resident of the Ratakatu building that we are looking at today. Since the days of EK all the way to 2023, this was the home of Finland's spy agencies. But as you saw from this brief historical overview, even before that, it had a very interesting history. After the Second World War, this entire Punavuori neighborhood, where this building is located, was upgraded with many small shops, bars, restaurants, as well as museums, art galleries, antique markets and more. If you are in Helsinki and you are interested in espionage history, then this is a must-visit location. As you can easily imagine, some of the surrounding bars and restaurants were common hangout places for intelligence officers. From that time and until 2023, this building was the heart of Finland's spy agencies. On May 22, 2023, SUPO published this article titled "Those Who Worked on Ratakatu Talk About the Historic Building in a Video." It provides an important perspective from SUPO officials that worked there for many years, as well as never-seen-before footage from its inside. That might make you wonder what happened in 2023. First of all, 2023 marked the 75th anniversary of SUPO, making it an important year for the agency. As we read in SUPO's yearbook 2023, in this article written by Dr. Mari Luukkonen, SUPO senior specialist and author of a dissertation on the history of SUPO, SUPO was set up at the dawn of the Cold War, and the threats nowadays are the same as SUPO turned 75 this year. Encountering the threat of the USSR and later Russia has always been a key element of its work. While many contemporary threats remind us of the early years of SUPO, the position of Finland has changed substantially. This year, it will be 75 years since SUPO began operating as a wholly reformed security police agency in Finland. The mission of this new special police department was to impartially safeguard the lawful state and social order of Finland by exposing treasonous projects directed against it. The very name of the agency declared a departure from its predecessors, the National Investigative Police and the State Police, Valpo I and II, that, in the turbulent early decades of internal and external policy making by the young republic, had evolved into a police agency that was not only secret, but even politically partisan. The operating environment of the new agency in 1949 was dominated by familiar themes. The USA and the USSR had begun their Cold War superpower policy confrontation a couple of years earlier. While officially positioning itself as a neutral country under the 1948 Agreement of Friendship, Cooperation and Mutual Assistance signed with the Soviet Union, Finland remained the vanguard of the West behind the scenes. The most important function of SUPO in relation to external threats was to disclose and combat espionage operations of the Soviet Union. This work bore fruit in the 1950s, especially on the eastern border of Finland, where Soviet border forces and military intelligence actively recruited Finnish border zone residents as agents. Some Western intelligence service operatives were also caught up in this dragnet. The geographical location of Finland attracted NATO countries as a base of operation in espionage targeting the Soviet Union. And in that same year, in 2023, SUPO also allowed some journalists to go inside this old headquarters building in Ratakatu and film specific areas, capturing some unique parts of its espionage history, like this, where we read that a detective from the Central Police staffed a pigeon suspected of being a spy. Most recently, it has decorated the desk of the counterintelligence officer of the security service, or those two ID cards from Urho and Silvi Kekkonen, who both worked for the Central Detective Agency. This document shredder, one of the many document security cabinets, as well as many other unique parts of its history, like this photo, which was from the prison located at the central courtyard of the building, which was used until the 1990s. There are many more stories and things that can be shared about this building. But where will the new headquarters building be? As we read on this investor report from SRV Group from August 24, 2020, construction work will start immediately and the new building is scheduled to be completed by the end of 2023, beginning of 2024. The total value of the Spearhead Alliance project is approximately €130 million, which will be recognized in SRV's order backlog right away. The total area of the new office building will be 17,700 square meters gross. SUPO will move into its new premises during the spring of 2024. The requirements for the premises and the structures are particularly strict. However, just like in most construction projects, this has been delayed and the initial plan for spring of 2024 moved to 2025. Actually, if you are reading our Spy News newsletter, you probably remember story number 29 from 2022, week 37, stating that the Finnish Security Intelligence Service, SUPO, announced on September 13th that the new office building for the security service in Kaartinkaupunki, Helsinki, has progressed to laying the foundation stone. The bricklaying ceremony was organized on Monday, September 12th, at the construction site of the office building. The announcement also said that a modern security and intelligence service needs not only new methods but also new tools in this time. One such tool is the new building office, said Interior Minister Krista Mikkonen. A lot has happened at the construction site this year. The actual work on the site got underway when the construction site received a building permit in February 2022. The work began with the demolition of buildings that were no longer in use by the defense forces. Earthworks and excavation work are currently being carried out at the site. Castings work for the foundations of the house have started and they will be completed by the end of the year. The installation of the element frame of the building will start soon. The construction project is currently progressing on schedule, and the security service is scheduled to move to the new building in 2025. This photo here is from April 2023, and there is noticeable progress. We also captured this footage more recently, but as you can see, there is still significant construction work still taking place at this former facility of the Ministry of Defense. So, this is the old headquarters building. This is the new one. So, where did Supo move in 2023? As we read in this local news report, in the near future, Supo will operate in temporary premises in Katayanoka. New premises are under construction for Supo, which is expected to be able to move into during 2025. And here is a look at the temporary headquarters of Supo that from May 2023 and, at least at the time of this publication, is the new home of the spy agency. Of course, this will change as soon as the new headquarters mentioned earlier is ready, likely sometime in 2025. But in the meantime, this building is the new Supo headquarters, and it's also located in a very interesting and central area of Helsinki. We definitely recommend you to visit this place too. It has some very nice bars, restaurants, architecture and historical buildings, as well as this impressive Russian Orthodox church, literally across the street from the temporary headquarters of Supo. Helsinki has a rich history, with an astonishing amount of incredible espionage stories, and many of them involve the buildings that we presented in this video. Apart from that, Finland is a beautiful country. Whether you enjoy history, nature, nice restaurants, or anything else, we highly recommend you to visit it. From our side, we cannot wait to go back to film some more episodes for the spy sites that are spread across the whole country in an effort to document espionage events in this lesser known part of history where nothing is as it seems.